Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. We've obviously had an amazing week this week in the crypto space. Again, last week I said that these markets were a picture of strength, and I see no reason why it couldn't continue in this week. And sure enough, we've had about an $800 move, and we're still going up at time of recording. So last week I think we were hovering around the 3,200 mark there for Bitcoin, and plenty of good news, plenty of good announcements in the space. Big money's moving into the space, deep pockets, okay, and it's nothing but positive news, and we've accelerated to new all-time highs. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things, and we've searches for Bitcoin have hit a record high again today, okay. Stock markets peaked on the 9th of August here, and I've spoken about the amount of money that washes through stock markets, but the big correction we've had over the last few days is really, really interesting when I look at this and watch that money and how sharply the Bitcoin market's moved, okay? So it's a scarily good indicator that if we're going to get pullbacks in world equity markets and even a small percentage of that flows into cryptocurrency, it has the power to really move these markets sharply. So something to watch closely. And I just want to show you another chart that I posted to my members on the 3rd of August, so not that long ago, and where I spoke we could get to, and 4180 here was my projection. And you know, I wasn't sure if this was going to take to the end of the year, but the fact that we've got here in 9 or 10 days is pretty scary about how fast this market has moved. So whether or not it can keep going higher or whether we need to take a breather, it remains to be seen. But anytime we go the length of this cycle bracket and then have a small correction, that's called a right-hand translation. And what it means is that the next bracket should remain strong. And we've got this bracket ending on the 18th, so whether or not we start to pull back now and we have a bit of a healthy correction and we take off again, or we just keep powering higher for a few days and have only a minimal breather. But I think this market is now getting extremely overbought on a lot of different time frames, so we might need to take a little breather and never be afraid to take profits, especially if you've been trading from back here or happy with the amount of money you've made. Even if you just sell a small percentage of those profits to lock them in if you're happy with the amount of money you made. But if you're taking that long-term perspective and you want to keep holding, I don't see any reason why these markets aren't going to keep going higher in the long run. So moving over to Ethereum, and I said last week that the spotlight hadn't been on Ethereum at all, and the focus was on a lot of other coins and obviously Bitcoin. And this week we had a few good announcements in the Ethereum space, and we've gone from trading around 250 to a nice powerful move up to sort of 325 there, and 320, sorry, and now we're just having a bit of a correction, these two brackets pushing down, and I really think that next week could hold some good things in store for Ethereum. The two cycle brackets pushing up, as I said, some good fundamental news coming out this week, and I'd expect this to continue higher into next week. And Litecoin is the other one, and I've noticed a real correlation, and traders are really active in these markets, and whenever Bitcoin cools off, okay, they rotate back into Litecoin or Ethereum or other coins, okay, and I've really noticed that becoming really evident. So Litecoin's hovering around this long-term trend line, and I really think that it's been seen as that safe go-to, almost rather than going back into US dollar tether once you've made a bit of money. A lot of people are using this as a real stable coin safety play. So I think Litecoin has got maybe another day or two to play around till this bracket finishes, and then again I think Litecoin could take off. So the final one I just want to go over that's been just this picture of strength and tremendous headlines, okay? So here's a 4-hour chart of NEO, and as I'm recording this, it looks like it could be breaking out of this this wedge to the upside, and obviously this cycle bracket here is just finished, so this bracket here is now pushing up. If that bracket plays out right, I've only had these brackets on for a short period of time, so whether they hold true or not remains to be seen. But I mean, last week we were around the 0.005 Bitcoin mark here, and we've doubled within a week and had a nice healthy consolidation at a high fib level. Now we could be breaking out again. So this is another one I'll be keeping a close eye on. We've had some other big movers in the space this week. Go, IOTA, 10x. So there's plenty happening in the space. It's red hot right now. As I said, be smart with your money. Lock in a small percentage of profits if you're happy with the money you've made. Hold on to those coins in your core portfolio for the long term and don't get shaken out. I put up a video about how to trade wild swings, and if you're not comfortable, then just hold on and think about things from a long-term perspective. So I hope you found that video helpful. As always, share these videos around, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for tuning in.